Okay, so now we're on the second image, which is the monitor man image. Okay, so if we look what we're going to be doing with that, we really did a little silhouette, got rid of this image that was down here, and then we dropped the eye in. Okay, so we're on the monitor man layer. This I would use the lasso tool. I would probably actually use the magnetic lasso tool to get a good start. So actually we can first off get rid of the middle here because we don't even need to bother with it. So if we get rid of the middle portion here, just delete it. Again, I want to look at what we did here. Okay, so everything below the shoulder is really gone. Okay, so I guess we can also do big chop offs over here because we're not going to use that, so it's no need to trace it. All I'm doing is using the rectangular marquee tool. This is where your shapes are also. Using the rectangular marquee tool, hold down your mouse, draw it, and then hit delete. Okay, so now I'm going to start off with my magnetic lasso tool, and I am going to trace around here. Again, we can fix, all I'm doing is dragging around, holding my mouse key. It's not going to be perfect. Oops. Like I said, you see me here. But you can't let go, that's the trick. So if you get stuck like I did, you just have to keep going and you'll fix it after. So and you have to complete the circle. And then it makes a marquee. Okay, so obviously we made some mistakes here. So now I'm going to use the regular lasso tool. Hold down. Remember we hold down and it's a fly out. Okay, so this is a really cool function actually. So right now we have the lasso tool regular. If I want to get rid of, I can hold the option key down on a Mac and then kind of circle in on the area and let go, and it brings in my marquee. I can do the opposite with the shift. It'll make a plus. I shift and then I go from the inside around, around the area I wanted. It'll pull it out again. So you have to play around which one works for you, depending on your scenario. I'm circling it. So let me get a little closer so you can see better what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to use the negative one. I'm holding my option, and then if I circle it, so I go from outside, then I go along the edge I want, and then I kind of circle it out. Now I'm going to do the opposite to pull this out, so I'm going to do the shift. So I go inside, round, and in. Same thing here. Right, now I'm going to need to pull this in, so it's an option or negative. I'm just dragging it and letting go. Drag the mouse, hold it down, let it go. So I'm just going to kind of walk around my images, see what works, see what needs fixing. Better to blow up, magnify your image so you could really see what needs fixing, what doesn't. said, the magnetic tool is definitely not perfect, but it gives you a good head start. So, oops, see, I went in the wrong direction. So, if you also circle something, it'll get rid of it. So again, shift key with the lasso for adding, option for deleting, option with the lasso tool. Whoops, see, that was wrong. Negative. Actually, maybe I should pull this out first. All right, let me do shift to add first. And now I'm going to option to get rid of. Just circle it around. You just have to do like little areas at a time. Because if you mess up, and to be really careful, it's better to do little areas at a time. Okay. So let's see. This side's pretty good. That side's pretty good too. All right, if I hit Control 0 or Command 0 on a Mac, I could look at my selection. Now I can do something called, it's under Select, Inverse. So pull down to Inverse, and what it does is it takes my selection that was over here, and then it flips it to be between here and here. So that means I can hit Delete and get rid of all the outside stuff. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we were going to replace this inside the monitor with the other eye that I had, which was like this. Right? Okay, so first off, we're going to magnify the monitor larger. I'm going to do the same thing. Magnetic lasso tool. It's probably the easiest way because it's a pretty simple shape. It'll be able to find everything. You just drag it along, hold the mouse key, circle it, and then let go. Whoops, sometimes you got to double click. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I have maybe one or two things to fix, and that's it. So that was good. All right, so go into the regular lasso tool. I'm going to hit the option for getting rid of a little bit. And that's it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I hit Command 0 to have it fit the whole page. Or, yeah, Control 0. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the selection, but I'm also going to click on my hazel eye layer. What I'm going to do, whoops, okay, so I'm going to, with the hazel eye layer, I'm going to select it, select the whole image. I'm going to actually copy it, Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac, then I'm just going to hide it again. Alright, now it seems as though we lost our selection. So don't worry. So what you can do is you can do something called under Window is History, if ever this happens. And if you click this little arrow right here, you can step back in your steps of what you just did in Photoshop. So here, now I got my selection again, and now Photoshop has in its memory what you copied. So now I'm going to edit, paste special, paste into. We'll take my copy image and paste it into. So there's my eye. So, but it's kind of big. So I could do the same thing, even though it's just in my monitor, and see how it's created in the layers, if that's called a layer mask. I'm gonna be able to hit Control T or Command T on a Mac and size it, just like we did the other items. Okay, size it smaller, holding the Shift key down. Place it the way I want to place it. I can move it around. And then hit enter, and there it is. Okay, so now we have our red dress silhouetted, and we have our eye in the monitor. Okay, so if we look, excuse me, you just have to chop off her head. Okay, so I think we're going to do that real quick, and we definitely need to make sure that we size it properly also. Oops, see, when I move it over, I see more image. I'm just going to be able to take my rectangular marquee, go over it, hit delete, just get rid of that extra white. I don't even think I need this down here, so I'm just going to chop it off. And then her head definitely needs to come off. Sorry, lady. And then we're going to put her in front of, so where the other man's torso was. But it looks like we have to size it a little more, and I think we need to chop more of her neck off. So we're going to do that. Okay, and then we're going to hit Control T or Command T and size the body a little bit more. Make sure it's similar to what the other body was. Okay, that's pretty good. And hit Return or Enter when you're done. Okay, so looks pretty good. Okay, actually I think we need to make it even bigger. So Control T. Actually, we can also just drag the marquee and then hit Control T or Command T, and it'll make it a smaller area. Alright, I think we missed one thing too. I'm going to hide the red dress, and I'm going to look at this image again. I believe that this all is gone. Also, I don't need all that. So I'm just going to circle it with my lasso and hit, whoops, make sure I'm on the right layer, the Monitor Man layer, and hit delete. Okay. So now if I turn on my red dress, I still missed a part. Okay, I don't think I need this part either. I know I still need my arrow. Okay, better. Much better. Okay. So I might need to move my, I'm going to move my arrow over. So I can move my arrow over. Just make sure I'm on the right layer as if I circle it. And then I go on the Move tool, which is the top tool, and I can just take it and move it over. Okay. Okay. So we're almost there. All right, good. So probably the hardest parts are now done. So just save your work, and I'll go over it in the next tutorial. Good job.